Hi and welcome to my channel. My name's Sammy. Today's video has been one I haven't taken lightly, and that's why it's taken me so long to get completed. Just when I thought I was almost finished, my ego made me think I wasn't good enough, and so I decided to redo the whole lot. I'm not even finished it yet, but I have to get started again so I can upload it because it's been way too long between videos. So this video today is about healing ourselves from our emotions and ongoing feelings that hold us back and prevent us from being able to live fulfilling lives where we feel loved, secure and balanced. So this is basically for anyone who at times suffers with insecurities or loneliness, depression, anxiety, waves of anger, unbalanced emotions that maybe seesaw, feelings of lack of self-worth, then this video is for you. I mentioned before how my ego got in the way of allowing me to complete this video, and how it made me feel like I wasn't worthy enough to even load it up. Thankfully, I understand how ego works, and that's basically what I'm going to be talking a lot about on here. And this is what I want to share with you, this information, and how knowing your ego can help you to heal yourself. It's because of our ego that we become stuck in our emotions that aren't pleasant to be stuck in. So by now, your ego is possibly telling you to switch this off. It's probably making you think that as if a video could help you overcome something that you've lived with for so long. What on earth could I know? I'm not even a doctor. And that's true. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I don't have any medical background at all, other than having been a dental nurse once upon a time. What I do have is a spiritual understanding, and from a spiritual perspective is what I'm going to offer you, how ego works, and other than the triggers that lead you, it's your ego that keeps you suffering. So don't switch off. If you're exhausted and depleted and sick and tired, then I promise you, if you listen to this video, you're going to learn some things about your mind, and that knowledge is one of the two main points in overcoming emotions that leave us in despair and feeling like we're trapped. I'm going to suggest a few things for you to do as well that take very little time but can make drastic changes to your mental well-being. When you try to talk yourself out of doing these tasks, just know that is your ego, not your essence. So let me explain, for starters, the difference between your essence and your ego, because we need to be able to identify the two so that we know when we're stuck in our ego state. It's going to be very helpful for you. So the essence is the part of you that lives on after our physical bodies die. Our essence may also be called our soul, is part of the universal collective consciousness, which I believe is the highest energy, pure love. Not love like lovers. It's a spiritual, unconditional, all-knowing, all-forgiving, no expectations, understanding love. Yes, this is inside us, but for most of us, not only do we deny the existence of our own essence, we may be shielding it with behaviors to prevent pain and suffering. When we're ready to take responsibility of our reality, which means our happiness or our suffering, we can search within ourselves to overcome the behavioral patterns that we thought would protect us, but in actual fact, they inhibit our love for ourselves. So within us is our essence that is love. Subconsciously, we know of our true self, and this yearning that we all have for love is what drives us to try and seek it. Unfortunately, though, for most people, we have been conditioned and taught and believe we need to find it externally in others. In truth, I believe we need to find and understand and accept and love ourselves. This endeavour to accept ourselves and the learning about who we are and what our purpose here on earth is, and understand the truth of unconditional love is the core of the awakening, or an awakening. Through the search and learning process that is ongoing, we realize how we've lived unconsciously or asleep, without knowledge, without understanding, and for most, without our own love. This is how we discover that for many of us, we have lived with our ego steering us, in control of our minds, thoughts, and our emotions. So, ego, what is it exactly? Ego is part of our human psyche. It's the part of our mind that attaches self-importance to us. Ego has many, many negative attributes, such as blaming rather than taking responsibility. Ego is self-righteous. Ego likes to win, but also likes to be a victim. Ego attaches to stories and identifies with them, especially drama, suffering, anything for attention. Ego lives in the past memories where regret and suffering can be recalled, or achievements and self-praise can be shared. Ego also lives in the future dreams and hopes, offering doubt or self-inflated ideas of hopeful achievements. Ego is self-absorbed, self-centeredness that is arrogance. Our essence is self-centered also, but centered in self, with love, not arrogance. The essence is flowing when we're present. When we're present, we are not worrying about the past or the future. In the present, there is no fear. There is gratitude, compassion, and joy, fueled by love. When I'm present, nothing else matters because it's the realization and feeling of now. There is only now. So how does this knowledge help us to overcome our emotional suffering, our anxieties, loneliness, debilitating depression? Well, for starters, you need to realize that your suffering is from your thoughts. Your emotions are the indicator to your well-being. And when your emotions and thoughts are unpleasant, then it's time to take notice of your thoughts, because basically suffering is resisting love. You are suffering because your mind is very likely constantly telling yourself negative thoughts. You might think that your suffering is really because of some event that happened to you or some person that did something to you. But when did that thing happen? Was it today? Or was it yesterday? Or was it years ago? Sure, someone may have instigated a trauma, but it's our minds, our ego, that wants to keep us stuck. We can be held in a grip of suffering by letting triggers take us back. And once we're there, ego performs a seductive dance that can even at times feel comforting in a way to entice us to remain. But it's never pleasant. Once ego has hold of us, especially without any understanding of how our egoic mind works, then ego is thriving on keeping us here in our own self-pity. Really, as harsh as this sounds, if you think about all this, that is exactly what our suffering of past trauma becomes. The ego mind takes control, and the ongoing outcome is suffering in self-pity. Anyone who suffers with depression or anxiety, insecurities, etc., suffers because of their thoughts, but also because of their lack of love for themselves. So now that we've established where our suffering comes from, we really need to stop blaming anyone else. The only person we can ever truly change to improve our reality is ourselves. So we have to let go of blaming anyone else. Focus on ourselves and do the work required to make ourselves feel better. Of course, there are also people who embark on a journey through medicine or therapies. I'm not here to say this is not the way, although I do believe that medicine is a band-aid. It's not finding and healing the root of the issue, but it may help people to find the peace and balance they need in their life. However, for anyone wanting to heal themselves so that they can move forward in life and not continue to repeat patterns of behaviour and thoughts that have kept them stuck, there is another way. But this requires conscious effort. It's not as easy as taking medicine, but like all great achievements, effort is required. This effort can lead anyone to the greatest reward, self-love. So if you are truly sick and tired of feeling emotionally unwell, unbalanced, drained, unloved, alone, afraid, and more, then keep listening please, because although effort is required, the tasks are not difficult, but your ego's resistance will be your battle. As I said earlier, understanding how your ego works is half of it. All you need to do is get back your control of your thoughts. This isn't that easy because our mind, for many of us, has been left to work on autopilot for so long that it can take time to fully regain conscious awareness. But that's okay, because we can begin to reprogram and redirect our thoughts by conscious suggestion or affirmations. This we can begin immediately, and this will begin to create positive change very quickly. The second half of healing ourselves is realizing and accepting and forgiving that we have not loved ourselves. And through affirmations again, we can also quickly rectify this. It can be confronting, difficult only in the fact when we realize how difficult we think it is, but the affirmations themselves, the tasks, are actually simple. So these tasks are going to help us to love ourselves as we should and as we deserve. And through this, allowing ourselves to love who we are, we naturally learn to forgive ourselves in the understanding that we, our minds, have kept us a prisoner and not let our love flow. Resistance is the cause of unpleasant feelings and emotions. Resistance is a lack of love. Love is what is the core makeup of us, our spiritual being, and we've kept this from flowing in us. So when you begin to love yourself unconditionally and forgive yourself and not live in regret, you'll feel it flow, and then you'll notice the beauty of life itself. The simplest things will hold you captivated. This is presence. This is love. So the tasks. I have 3 main tasks, and as you begin to embrace them, they will expand, but purely by your own choice. So to begin, you're going to reprogram your brain. You're going to every morning, preferably before getting up, you're going to say in your mind, to your mind, as if scaring away ego, that you are deserving of love and that you love yourself. Yep, just these 2 to begin. It's an easy task, but maybe not easy to do initially. But understand your resistance to it is because, number 1, you don't love yourself, and number 2, your ego doesn't want you to change. Fear controls you, so fear will try to stop you. Fear is ego-driven. So, when you wake up, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. And I am deserving of love. And then maybe finish again, I love myself. Even if you don't believe it, just say it. It shouldn't be that hard, they're just words. If you can try and feel the emotion behind the words while you say it, as if you're convincing yourself. Just, putting feeling behind the words is really important, but initially just saying it is the most important part. So every morning, then also every night. And if you catch yourself in front of a mirror, look into your eyes and tell yourself again. You can say it in your mind or you can say it out loud. Either, it's going to be so hugely transformative for you. You can't overdo this. You are fighting for your own love, the love you deserve most. Okay, second task. I want you to write a gratitude diary or journal. Keep the love flowing and maybe write it in after saying your affirmations of love. Then write in your diary or journal what you are grateful for. You may have friends or family who care about you. You should be grateful for that. You may have a pet that you love. You may have a beautiful garden that you get to look out at. Maybe just a tree that we forget to appreciate. Have a little look around you and look at all the things that you are grateful for. There is so much to be grateful for, but when we live in our egoic mind, often we forget to notice or forget how fortunate we actually are. Remember, someone's rubbish is another's treasure. So too, someone's misfortune is another's dream. When we lay on our bed crying in despair, we forget the homeless people that so often are overlooked, who haven't had a bed, let alone any privacy. We can be grateful for both of these, hopefully. Your third task is also simple, but it can make such an impact, not on you, but on someone else, and that creates your good feeling. That good feeling is your essence, your love. When you see another person, compliment them in some way, especially if they are a stranger. Maybe they have beautiful eyes, or a pretty smile, nice hands, or just a nice piece of jewelry. It might even be their voice. Whatever it is, have a little look and see if you can find something and tell them. For no other reason than it is true and it's a nice thing to do. It's not hard, but it may feel strange. But think how nice it could be, think how nice it can feel to receive a compliment. Share this good feeling to someone. It comes back to you. One of the universe's amazing laws is that we create our own reality with our thoughts. If you're not enjoying your reality, change it. Take control of your mind and create with intentions and affirmations how you imagine you deserve to be. Dream up your new life. Write about it in your journal. Make your diary or your journal only for positive entries. Nothing from ego can go in there, only good stuff. Finish each entry with, I love myself and I deserve love. Remember, ego wants you to stay stuck in the past regrets or in fear, in anxiousness, in sadness. Ego wants you to be a victim. You are not a victim. You've just found and learnt about your mind. You have a choice now to find joy and love and feel free. Now close your eyes and repeat, I love myself. I love myself. For anyone who is still listening, thank you. I promise you, you can do this. The tasks are not difficult. They take little time and they offer you the greatest gift, to allow your love to flow. Don't think too far ahead. Just take each day as it comes. Forgive yourself if you forget to do a task. Now is always the time to find your love. Be kind to yourself. Speak kindly to yourself and find your faith within. Love is the answer. Please press the like button if you enjoyed this and feel free to add comments if you've got anything to tell me. I'd love to hear. Thank you. I wish you all love.